So it's been a while since we've watched a Gothix video, and a lot of that reason is because I don't live in 2016. That was over 6 years ago. The world has changed, and I too have changed quite a lot. And to watch a Gothix video, you have to be terminally stuck in the year 2016, because everything that ever comes out of her mouth is a regurgitation of a period of time that people just can't fucking get over. Okay? That is why today we are going to hop in our little time, our time machine, and we're going to back to the year 2016 and watch this video that she obviously made back in 2016, not this month. No. 6 years ago, called I'm Tired of This Debate, All Lives Matter versus Black Lives Matter. I'm sure it's going to be just a pinnacle of intellectualism, and she's just going to dazzle us with her acumen. So by all means, the floor is yours, Gothix.
So I'm on Twitter right now, which I should never do because Twitter is a cesspool of nonsense, but I see that Black Lives Matter is trending, and of course my curiosity got the best of me, and I decided to take a look into what exactly people are talking about. One was a comment from Steven Crowder, where he said, if you're triggered by the phrase all lives matter, then maybe you're the problem, which I wholeheartedly agree with.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Steven Crowder as well is pretty much stuck in the year 2016. You know, I'm I really legitimately see no functional difference between that. There are people these days that I would say have moved on in their content from 2016, but mentally never did. Like Lauren Chen. Lauren Chen, who's a soulless, shitty, mean, and cruel fucking grifter, at least gets the notes on what you're supposed to be talking about lately for all of the action items with the right-wing propaganda sphere. And so she does still come from a place where she is mentally still in 2016. Crowder never really changed. He's a failed comedian, and he's stuck, frozen in time, just like Gothix is.
Lives Matter hasn't actually done anything to benefit black people. They scammed millions of dollars out of the American people and then used that money to line their own pockets.
Hang on. The group, the company, Black Lives Matter, which is owned by two black women, I believe. Yes, they did. They scammed the shit out of a bunch of people. A bunch of people. But that's a group. That's two people, okay? Two people. That's two people. Anybody who embraces the catchphrase Black Lives Matter is not the same as those two people. I'm pretty sure that Gothix and anybody who's got a problem with this also doesn't really like that guilt by association tactic when it's used on them. But again, this is just it's a statement versus a group. And yeah, they were absolutely is absolutely that group was a scam for sure. Didn't I have Lauren Chen on the YouTube Saints back in the day? I did. I had a lot of right-wing dickbags on the YouTube Saints. Yeah, for sure. I don't know. You can cancel me. I don't give a fuck.
But then people will say, well, we're not supporting the organization. We're just supporting the movement or the
Yeah. You just answered it.
sentiment. Okay, sure, whatever.
Okay.
What has it done? Aside from raising awareness, guess what? We're all
That was a big part of it. Yeah. It super was for sure.
aware. What else has it done? Nothing.
Hold that thought. I've got an argument on how actually it was a good thing, actually, and pretty fucking based. Now, I previously in the past, I made a couple of videos talking about Black Lives Matter and how I didn't necessarily think that it was the right way in which to engage with the body public on raising awarenesses of systemic racism, because it might make people feel alienated, because there's that subtext, which is an incorrect subtext, that if Black Lives Matter, for some reason, other lives are not as much. And obviously that's not the intention. It never was the intention. It's not the intention to make one group more important than the other, but it was to do something about pointing out systemic problems. Now here's the thing. It fucking worked. It did. It fucking worked. There is an overwhelming, huge majority of people in this country that now understand the words systemic racism. They do. Now, they might not necessarily believe it. They might balk against it. All it really takes is just very calmly showing them prison sentencing statistics, and they'll be like, oh, well, shit, maybe... Well, I don't know if it's a big thing, but that does look like that's a start. That's a start. But before that, the words systemic racism were not really known by the larger body of people. And the overwhelming success of the BLM protests, whether or not they turned into shitty riots or whether or not they went totally fine, brought about a huge awareness of people that this is kind of a fucking issue. And you can see it reflected in like how things are conducted today. So you can say, well, what has it actually done and manifested for itself? Well, maybe not as much as would be nice. It's not like we're, having to fight against, half our political groups in Washington stopping any type of action to curtail, violent police action that murders people. I mean, whatever. But what has it done? I would say that it changed the culture. And that's more than Gothix has ever done.
It was a Trojan horse, a ticking time bomb that was packaged as something that it wasn't. And people fell for it. They ate it up. Here's what BLM actually has done. Because I know no one's going to be able to answer this question in a positive light. So I'm going to tell you what BLM has done.
I just did, but that's okay. All right, tell me what BLM has done.
The most obvious part of this argument is the fact that it is 2022, and at this point, if you're still supporting Black Lives Matter, that is signaling to the rest of the world that you are an emotional thinker and therefore are not thinking at all.
What in the fuck does that mean? What in the fuck does that mean? You're an emotional thinker and thus you don't think at all. I really, for the life of me, cannot even conceive of what that's supposed to fucking mean. If somebody says the words Black Lives Matter, like I just did, it doesn't mean anything aside from what it means to me versus what it means to other people that hear it. And that can be wildly different. But it costs me nothing to say that. What do I mean by that? Well, I can explain. It could mean something to me that it doesn't mean to somebody else. The movement largely is not something that is a push right now. It's very strange that the entirety of her wanting to bring up, and I love this pause game, by the way. This is gonna have to be the thumbnail, 100%. That this is brought up because Steven Crowder decided to dredge up and resurrect a All Lives Matter talking point from 2016. Nobody gives a shit anymore about signaling that Black Lives Matter because it should be the default. Like, yeah, we get it. We get it. We're into it. But if somebody also wants to say it, it doesn't bother me at all. But it very much triggers Gothix because it triggers all of her boomer audience.
Because if you look at any of these cases, just pick any one, you will see a consistent pattern of people claiming that this was a racially motivated situation. Where's the evidence for that? Aside from...
What in the fuck are you even talking about? Like anything that like has been said by Black Lives... What the fuck? What in the fuck are you even talking about? Can you like actually say like what you mean?
Assuming it was racially motivated. At what point did this officer proclaim, I'm going to kill that nigga because he's black? They never said that. We have a culture where people...
I see. This is an intellectual titan we're dealing with here. There can never be any bias whatsoever in anything that happens unless that bias is explicitly stated out loud and is corroborated by at least 15 witness testimonies and recorded on camera. Gotcha. Oh, okay. But again, this whole concept of talking about whether or not there is a statistically significant disparity in things that happen in our society along racial lines, aka systemic racism, is not predicated on each individual fucking one, but as the cases as a whole. And yes, they actually did say it for Ahmed Arbery. Yeah, they fucking did. Yeah. Yeah. They fucking absolutely did. It's so fucking crazy.
Don't like correction. They don't like being told that they're wrong. They don't like admitting when they were wrong.
That's you in a nutshell, darling.
So every time an incident came up on the TV about BLM, whether it was Breonna Taylor or George Floyd or whoever, every time the focus was on the police officer and not the choices that that individual made to get themselves in that predicament in the first place.
The cop is the one that killed them, you fucking brainlet. What the shit? This is the, well, he was no angel argument, you know? Like, I don't give a fuck if George Floyd had a problem with drugs. I don't give a shit. He shouldn't be dead. You should not be able to be murdered because you are a drug addict. Like, what the fuck kind of inhuman, disgusting shit is that?
You know how many white people messaged me after the George Floyd incident to check up and see if I was okay? Why wouldn't I be okay? Why would I relate to a criminal? When you say black...
Oh man, this is fucking wild. This is fucking wild. Listen, I have family members who are black. My brother is black. His children are black. And I love them very much. They are my family, and I care about them a great deal. But when there's a racially motivated killing by police, I don't be like, "Yo, Jimmy, you good, man?" Like, what the fuck? I think she's making this up. Either that, or her white friends are just fucking ridiculous.
Black Lives Matter. Are you talking about the unborn children? Are you looking at the data that shows that black women kill their babies at a much higher rate than any other race in America?
Oh, I see. She actually really does care, but it's about abortion. This is so cliche and fucking boring. I swear to God, Gothix is a hollow-headed, no-thought, skull-empty fucking grifter. It's so, oh my God. It's like she's following, it's like right on her screen, looking off to the side right here, she's got the flow chart. She's got the flow chart written in 2016, okay? And she's like, okay, well, we talked about that, so next we got to go to, oh, yeah. Black babies and abortion. Let's get to, we got to get to the abortion segment. What the fuck, dude?
If you support Black Lives Matter, then why would you support an organization that wants to disrupt the nuclear family? There's a lot of fatherlessness that happens in the black community, so you want to support something that makes that problem worse.
That's not how that works. That is not, those two are not correlated at all. Also, the nuclear family is an ideal that was also a lie. The overwhelming reason why you have disjointed and broken families is money, and then also prison. And both of those things, you can see correlations along lines systemically that impact disproportionately black people. Weird.
Black Lives Matter only matters when you get pressured into repeating the slogan because you're afraid of being called a racist or a bigot.
That doesn't happen anymore. That doesn't happen anymore. Again, 2016, man. That's 2016, and that doesn't happen anymore. What the fuck?
Black Lives Matter. Are you also someone that supports all of this mainstream hip hop and rap that glorifies shooting other black men, knowing...
Okay, hip hop, rap these days are a lot different than the 90s, around the aughts a little bit too. Like, gangsta rap is not nearly as much of a thing as it used to be. It really isn't. This is even older than 2016. This is inane as fuck. Holy shit.
That people are products of their environment, and if you have an environment that glamorizes gang nonsense, how much do black lives actually matter to you? Because recreationally, if you're listening to this stuff, then black lives doesn't really matter. If
I grew up listening to gangster rap, and that's why I ended up in a gang and did time in prison. It only takes 4 songs by the Flatbush Zombies before you too will be out criminalizing. What the fuck? Shut the fuck up.
if it has a good beat to it, huh? Do Black Lives Matter all the time, or only when you can get a pat on the back for virtue signaling as a white savior?
That doesn't happen anymore, and nobody gives a shit. That's 2016. Nobody gives a shit.
Do Black Lives Matter to you, fellow black person, or only when you can make it look like you're actually doing something to help black people instead of teaching black people to persevere and overcome adversity?
Is that what you do? It doesn't seem like that's what you do. All you do is complain and whine about the fucking left. I don't really understand exactly how you can be all pissed off and angry in your pants about this kind of shit. Like, this is weird, man.
Because that's how life is. If you can teach someone how to get through all of their problems and come out on the other side, that's how you can teach them their life matters. Not by saying, oh, you poor little Negro, don't worry, we're going to take care of all the white supremacy for you.
What in the fucking shit are you talking about? What the fuck?
You don't care about black people. You care about letting other people know that you care about black people. It's a performance. How many of these social justice online activists?
This is like legitimately, this is the most ridiculous fucking straw man shit I've ever heard of. I know she's not even arguing the point. Yeah. The whole point of this video is I'm tired of the debate. All lives matter versus Black Lives Matter. She hasn't even talked about all lives matter at all. Like, she's just whining about something that happened back in 2016, 17, a little bit in 2018. And she's whining about it like it's still happening. Like, it's not.
Actually go into these inner cities and do something about gang violence. No, Black Lives doesn't matter to you. Black Lives matter when it's trending on Twitter. Thanks for watching.
What the fuck? This is the perfect freeze frame to wrap up on. Because Gothix, she looks like she doesn't really understand. She's very, very, very confused, and I think that she should be. I feel, and I know it's not the case, but I feel like, you remember the Brendan Fraser movie? What was the one where he like got trapped in a bunker? He was raised in a bunker, and he came out, and he was like a total anachronism. Chat, you got to know which one I'm talking about. It's a hilarious movie. God, what the hell is the name of that movie? This reminds me so much of it, though, because Gothix really does not have anything relevant. Blast of the Past. Yes, Blast of the Past. Fucking great movie. We stand Brendan Fraser, by the way, on this channel. We fucking love Brendan. It's so bizarre to me because there is nothing relevant for modern day that she ever fucking talks about. I mean, she kind of like broadly tries to talk about it, but her entire existence on YouTube is carefully cultivated to simply give comfort to people who are sad because the anti-SJW days are pretty much over, and that hip 2016 energy has faded, and there's so many fucking people who are desperately wanting to get back to it, and it'll never come again. It'll never come again. It sucked, guys. It was shit. It sucked. A lot of us got real confused and believed a bunch of stupid shit. It's over. We need to make peace with that. But I do appreciate that Gothix exists because it's a perpetual reminder of how absolutely stupid that time was and how we'll never go back. We're never going back. We're never going back. Because this is how stupid it was. Yeah, we're better off.